Hello there. And I see all the time on the forums, and on the Facebook pages, somebody will come on and they've just joined, and they'll say, "I'm thinking about taking up traditional shaving," or "I'm thinking about switching to a DE," or "I'm new and I'm wondering what the best razor, the best soap, the best this or that for me to start out, but I don't want to spend a lot of money." And so there is a kit called the Vanderhagen Premium Kit. A lot of us started with it. I did, and it's a decent kit. You can get it for between $9 and $12. It comes with a brush, and it comes with soap, and it comes with a bowl. If that's all you got, then you can get that and a razor and a cheap aftershave, and you're set. But I think you can do better for just a little bit more money, and that's what this is about, is products that I think are high value for the money, that a new to wet shaving person should be able to afford, and it will give them good service, and it won't be a product that will hamper them in learning the technique for DE shaving. So the first thing you think of when you think about DE shaving is a DE razor, a double-edged safety razor. Now you've got two different ways you can go. You can go with a modern razor, or you can go with a vintage. Now personally, I prefer vintage Gillette's Schick, and if you watch my channel, you'll see that that's almost all that I use. I've got one modern razor, and that's the recommendation that I would make right now if you're looking for a modern DE razor at low cost. Now they make some really high-end DE razors that are, in my opinion, the equivalent of some of the old Gillettes. When you start getting into stainless steel razors and stuff like that, they're a different ball game. But for a modern cast metal Zamac razor, this is my recommendation. Not specifically this model. This is a Maggard MR6. It's sold by MaggardRazors.com. And it is a modern double-edged razor. They have 7 or 8 different styles in their line of razors. They're between $20 and $25 a piece. It's a modern 3-piece razor. The handle comes off, and you have a cap and a base plate. The cap, the blade goes on the cap. You place the base plate on it, screw it down, and before you lock it down, you look and make sure the blade exposure on either side of the cap is even, and then you tighten it down. You're ready to go. You're ready to shave. Excellent razor for an excellent price. Will last a long time. A good deal in my opinion. For a modern razor, this is all I would spend in the beginning. Vintage razors. Vintage Gillettes, there's a ton of them, and I've got several, but I'm not going to run through all of them. I'm just going to show you a couple of different designs and talk just a little bit about them. My first recommendation is a Gillette Tech. This is a ball-end Tech, but they come with different handles. This razor is probably going to be the easiest razor for you to find, is a Tech. You'll probably find, at least in my neck of the woods, I find more Techs than I do any other type of vintage razor. It's a 3-piece, just like that Maggard. This razor is all brass. It'll last your whole life if you take care of it. Excellent razor. You can find one. This one cost me $8. You can find one for $8, $10, $12, sometimes $15, depending on what it is, what kind of shape it is, all day long. at thrift stores, flea markets, antique stores, all kinds of stuff, or all kinds of places. And it's well worth the money. That would be my first recommendation. Now, Gillette also makes a Super Speed and other models that have a twist to open design like this. Blade goes in there, close it on down, and shave with it. This is actually my favorite type of Gillette razor. It's a wonderful, mild, smooth shaving razor. They make all different kinds of models, not just this black candle version and not just Super Speeds. There are Regents and aristocrats and just presidents and senators and all kind of different. The Gillette adjustables, and you can get these in the $15 to $30 range all day long in really good shape. Also, when you're out looking around, don't forget a Schick Krona. If you run across one of these, they're cheaper most of the time, and they're an incredibly well built twist to open razor. Wonderful shaver. In my opinion, they're a step up from the Super Speed and the Tech, although if you look at just the blade gap characteristics, the Tech should be a bit more aggressive. In my opinion, this is, at least to my face, but it's still nice and mild and smooth. Just a wonderful blade, wonderful razor rather, and it will serve you well. So those are some thoughts on vintage razors. You just want to make sure everything works right. Stuff isn't bent or twisted or beat up or anything like that. If the thing looks like it's in good shape and everything on it functions properly, then you'll have a razor that'll last you the rest of your life if you take care of it. So, all right, now on to brushes. This is the reason that I did not recommend the Vanderhagen kit. The Vanderhagen kit has a decent little bowl. It's not much, but it's a ceramic bowl and it'll do just fine. And it comes with a puck of their soap, and that's not a bad soap. It's only like $2, $2.50 most places. But it comes with a brush that, in my opinion, I use mine. Sometimes I don't anymore. I've retired it, but I used it for many, many months when I first started shaving, and it's a perfectly serviceable brush. It's just, it's not the greatest. What I would recommend instead is a Semogue 1438, 1460, 1470. There's a couple more in this range. These are handmade in Portugal. The knots are better quality. It's just a much better brush. This razor and several different models like it will cost you about $14. Well worth it. It'll last you probably the rest of your life if you take care of it. I would recommend a Semogue or an Omega. You can even get a nice Omega for like $10. You know, they are also, if I'm not mistaken, handmade. They're made, I believe, in Italy, but they're still, or Spain. I believe it's Italy, and they're still a high quality brush, much better than the Vanderhagen kit. So this is my recommendation for a brush, something along these lines. Just a better option all around, in my opinion. Soap. You know, we could go, there's a ton of inexpensive soaps, but dollar for dollar, if I was going to recommend a soap, and I recommend soap to a first-time user and not cream, because I believe it's important to learn how to know when your brush is loaded with product, with soap, and know how to whip up a lather from a brush that's loaded off a puck of soap. That's just my opinion. The cream and stuff can come later, but you really need to learn that basic technique of loading a brush and building lather, whether it's on your face or on a bowl. Now, if you want to be a bowl lather, and that's what I prefer, but I'm not going to say you should be either one. Any of those that you want to choose, whatever you want to do there, that's your business and your preference. But if you want a bowl of lather, you can get a bowl at Goodwill or Kmart or someplace like that for under $3. So anyway, dollar for dollar, I recommend Razor Rock line of soaps. Now this soap is $10. It's a fairly soft Italian style. Love the smell of that. Fairly soft Italian style soap. But it's not a cream. You do have to load a brush with it. This was $10, but now you can find Razor Rock for $7. Some of their line, and they're the same quality, the same ease of lather, the same wonderful lather, all of that. And I cannot recommend Razor Rock highly enough to a beginning wet shaver. That would be my suggestion as regards soap. And lastly, aftershave. Now you can use witch hazel. Theirs makes a brand of witch hazel that's scented, all different kinds of scents and stuff like that. If you don't like alcohol, it's fairly cheap. I think it's like $8. What I use is old school aftershaves, the old drugstore aftershaves your dad and your granddad used. I like them because that's what I used when I first started in the 70s, and I'm an old fellow. Well, not really old. I'm 51. But I've been wet shaving for over 35 years, and not traditional wet shaving, although I did start with a super speed and a can of Barbasol foam. But I've been using these old time aftershaves all my life. One in particular, Old Spice, I started with, and it's been a constant in my house and in my shaved in since the beginning. You can get this for about $6 or $8 at Wally World. It's a wonderful aftershave. It's alcohol based, wonderful. But what I would actually recommend for a beginner above Old Spice, and not because I prefer it above Old Spice. Old Spice is one of my very favorite aftershaves, but because of the menthol content, which I find helps to soothe irritation and stuff like that, is Aqua Velva Ice Blue. $4 or $5 at Walmart or drugstores all over the place. Excellent aftershave. Got a wonderful barber shop type scent. Lasts a long time. Wonderful feel to the face. Wonderful soothing menthol. You could do a lot worse than Barbasol or Aqua Velva Ice Blue. So, all right, those are my recommendations. Feel free to substitute as you wish and as your wallet allows. But I hope that that helps to give you some idea of what you can do and about what things will cost you to start in on this. And one last thing is, I believe very strongly that you will love shaving with a DE razor and the soaps and brushes and all of that. This type of shaving is the best thing that ever happened to me in regards to my face and the care of my face, and turning something that I hated shaving into something that I greatly love and enjoy. So if you are on the fence about wet shaving, please dive in because I believe you won't regret it. All right. God bless you and thank you.